at planning as one of the functions of management. So today I want us to look at organizing and communication as the second primary function. So after you have planned what you intend to do, the next thing is now to get yourself organized. Otherwise, if you don't get yourself organized, then you cannot execute your plans in according to what you have. So organization is very, very important, not only at organizational context, even at individual level. For the purpose of studies, you also need to get organized. If you don't get yourself organized, then you're going to miss a lot of lectures, you're going to miss a lot of academic activities. At the end of the day, it's going to affect your performance just because you are not uh, organized. Now, let us look at what exactly is organizing. So after you have planned, the next thing is get yourself organized. So how do you get yourself organized? It can be in terms of resources. If you have limited resources, how do you make sure that you utilize it very well in order to achieve your target goals? So organization helps you in order to allocate resources accordingly. Remember, resources are always limited. They are always limited. So it comes back to organization and how we plan them so that our objectives and goals can be achieved by the end of the day. So organizing can be viewed into two perspectives. One is organizing as a process, then number two, organizing as a structure of relationship. Now let us look at organizing as a process in detail. Organizing as a process, in other words, is about a function which can be performed at different levels. So you can't perform a task at a single stroke or at a single level. Remember the definition of organization? It is a group of people working together to achieve a common goal. That's the definition of an organization. So, how is it a process? For you to achieve a goal, it means all the departments have to be involved in the process. You can't achieve it alone. I remember telling you that there are very many departments in organization. Okay, one person has joined us. That is I think Garang. Garang, good evening. Garang, can you hear us?
So you said the woman, where? Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, sir.
Yes, you missed the two lectures. What happened?
No, I was away in the field, so we used to try, but the network was the problem.
So is this Makel? Are you Makel? Mashar, right?
Yeah, this is yeah, this is Garang.
Garang, Garang,
Onesimo Joseph Garang. Yes,
Onesimus. Onesimus.
Onesimo Joseph Garang.
Onesimus. Okay.
Yes,
This
yes.
this class is not for you. But if you have enough data, you can attend. You're supposed to have a class with Mr. Ivan. Did you get me well? Okay, you check on Mr. Ivan. You are supposed to have a
I
class.
got it. Thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, check on Mr. Ivan.
Mhm.
Okay. So let's come back
Hello,
to
sir.
yes, let's continue. So
Yes, you start from the definition of organization.
okay, organization. Organization, we
Yes.
define organization as a group of people who come together to work to achieve common goal. That's the definition of organization. Group of people who work together to achieve common goal. So now we are relating it to organization as a process. How is it a process? If you have a goal to achieve, it means all the departments in the organization has to participate. A goal cannot achieve at a single department. It is a collateral or what we can say collaborative efforts of all the departments to make sure that the goal of the organization is achieved. That's why we are saying that the organization is viewed as a process. Means you can't achieve a goal alone. need to involve other stakeholders, other departments to make sure that the goal is achieved. So that is basically organization as a process. Now let us look at organization as a structure of relationship. According to this concept, organizing is treated as a structure of relationship. Under these various posts are created or established and the mutual relationship of employees working on various posts, their authorities and responsibilities are defined. It's all about who reports to who. In the context of university, we have the vice chancellor as the highest person in the organization. So the vice chancellor is the overall. Now, who reports to the vice chancellor? Maybe you can talk of the DVC academic or the DVC finance. You come to the registrar, you come to the dean, etc. That is the structure of relationship. Where you are currently working, I don't know who is your boss. The person you are reporting to or the person who is supervising you, that kind of relationship is called a structural relationship, and it is one of the aspects of an organization. There is no way organization can exist without a structure of relationship. There must be relationship because of differences in the academic qualifications, differences in the experience and also differences in what you call exposures. People who are holding highest office, they are most likely exposed. They have the experience, they have the knowledge to run the entire organization compared to the lower employees. So basically, that is what we mean by organizing as a structure of relationship. In simple terms, it's all about who reports. If you are having some challenges related to work, whom do you consult, whom do you supervise? So that kind of relationship is what we call organization. In the next slide now, we're looking at the characteristics of an organization. One is division of labor. Division of labor in some books, they call it a specialization. In an organization, you find people working in different departments. That is specialization. If you're in Department of Finance, you cannot always be working in the Department of Statistics unless there is a program you are running there. But otherwise, your work is basically in the Department of Finance. And also working in the Department of Human Resources, they basically go and report to the Human Resource Department. So an organization is characterized by specialization. You can identify that where you're working right now, you find very many departments in the organization. So characteristic number two is coordination. We have coordination in the organization. Why? Because people are from different departments. Even in one single department, you find more than 10 or 20 workers depending on the size of the organization. For example, if you are the IT manager, within the IT manager, you have the assistant, you have the IT officer, you have the clerk, etc. All these need to be coordinated into one team. In other words, coordination can be in terms of teamwork. There's no way you can be performing as an organization without working together. So coordination is all about working together. Characteristic number three is accomplishment of goals or objectives. Every organization has a goal to achieve or objective to achieve. And if that objective is not achieved, then the organization has failed. Therefore, no one wants to fail. No organization wants to fail. There must be always intention of achieving a goal or a target. That is characteristic number three. Even at individual level, you can always have your goal to achieve. What do you intend to achieve by the end of this year, if not in academics? Maybe you have your businesses, you have other things to do. You want to always achieve a goal by the end of the year. It is also the same thing in the organizational context. The next characteristic of organization is authority. In an organization, we have people who has that power to suspend the employee or even to dismiss or terminate the contract of an employee if they are misbehaving or if they have gone against the law. So such authority exists in an organization. There is no way an organization can exist without such authority. It is always there. The last one now is well-defined hierarchy. When we talk of well-defined hierarchy, we are talking about the structure or the command, chain of command, from the top to the lowest. I gave you example of the university relationship structure. I told you that the VC has power. So when you talk of the hierarchy, the person on top is, of course, we can talk about the VC. So if you are giving example of the country, who is on top, you can talk of the president. Personal level at your home, who is on top? People say that husband is the head of the family, but in some families, it is the woman who is the head of the family. So you can see it is also happening in the organization. So that is the characteristic number 5 of an organization. You see, there are very many, but for the purpose of this presentation, I've only picked 5 of them. So when I ask you to explain some of the characteristics of an organization, please don't forget to write those points. In the next slide, we are looking at steps organizing. How to get yourself organized as far as organization is concerned. One is identification of tasks. You need to identify the work to be done. After identifying the task, you need to look at the skills required to perform the task. Do you have the human resource within the organization to perform the task, or you do not have? And if you do not have the human resource within the organization, that one will call for external sources. Now you need to look for someone outside the organization to come and do for you the work. That is step number 1. Now, after identifying the task, what next is defining the responsibility. It means you are now allocating the task or the responsibility to the individuals be performing the job. You have identified the work. The next thing is now give the responsibility to them to do the work. Then lastly is establishment of the structural relationships. I've already talked about the structural relationships. Who reports to who? If the worker is facing some challenges related to the work, whom does he consult? That structure has to be there. As a manager, if you don't have that structure clearly stated, then work will not move on smoothly. Because if I get stranded, whom do I look at? Whom do I consult? So only get organized if there is someone I can consult in case I'm stranded. So these are some of the steps you need to follow as you are planning to. The next thing we're going to look at now is the importance of organization or organizing. Why is it important always to be organized? One is creation of organizational structure with a suitable personnel. You're going to have people who are going to be competent enough to do the job you intend to do. That is after screening, interviewing them, you are going to get the competent personnel. Importance number 2 is defining interrelationship among personnel for productive operation. So the interrelationship is in terms of reporting, of course, supervision, who supervises who is that kind of the relationship. You find that employees from one department they always report to their manager. You cannot report to the manager of another department. That is very wrong. So your work is to report to the manager of the department where you are working. That is important number 2 of organization. The next important is clarifying authority and the responsibility for results and logical grouping of activity. If you don't divide the responsibility, then people will not work. We can come to the office, but where will I start from if I don't know what I'm supposed to do? So through organization, I'm going to know what I'm supposed to do. You're going to know what you're supposed to do so that when we come to the office, everyone goes to work than us all sitting waiting for a manager to come and tell us, go and do this, go and do this. That is a sign of disorganization. So basically, these are some of the importance of organization. Manager The next slide, we're looking at the principle of organization now, or principle of organizing. Number one is the principle of specialization. As I'm planning to give you the task, do you have the skills required to do that task? If you don't have the skills to do that task, then I don't need to give you the task. Because if I give you the task, you will not perform. You will not do it because you lack the skills. That is the principle of organization number one. So as you're planning to get yourself organized where you're working, please take into consideration the qualification of the person you are trying to assign the task to. Otherwise, you may end up assigning a task to a wrong person. By the end of the day, performance will be very poor, not because of his inability, but because of you, the manager, who has not allocated the job appropriately. So that is principle number one. Principle number two is the principle of coordination. Even in one single department, we have very many employees. These employees have to be coordinated. They need to work as a team. Let me give you example. If you work in the department of maybe the human resource, you are the human resource manager. Under the human resource, you have the human resource officer, you have the payroll officer, the training officers. All these people, they need to work together. If you have a recruitment officer who is not coordinating with the HR officer, work will not go. Even you, the manager, you are going to fail your department because of lack of coordination. You need to make sure that you work as a team. All the different people work together to make sure that one common goal is achieved by the end of the day. Remember, I told you from the beginning that the success or the failure of an organization depends on the management. The way you manage your organization determines whether you're going to succeed or not. The next principle of organizing is the principle of authority and the responsibility. Everyone must be given tasks to do. They must be accountable for whatever they are doing. Where I'm working, if work is not going well, I need to be accountable. I need to answer some questions as to why work is not going. That is the principle of organization. Otherwise, if I'm not accountable for that, then who else is going to be accountable for it? Accountability means I'm going to be committed because by the end of the day, I have a report to submit to my boss. The same thing applies to authority. There must be someone uh, to to control me. I can't just be working without being controlled. If you give that freedom to people, then they will not be performing to the expectation. For example, people will be coming late for work because no one is having the authority or the power to tell them, please, why are you coming late? So you need to look for someone who has that authority, that power to control the wrongdoers. Principle number three is the principle of efficiency. If you're planning to get things done in an organized manner, then you don't need to ignore efficiency. Everyone must be efficient now, productive. Efficiency can be explained in terms of productivity. If the workers are not productive, then there is no efficiency. So emphasize efficiency as you are planning to get things organized in the organization. Then the last one is the principle of delegation. Delegation is all about assigning tasks to be performed by either your assistant or by your someone in your absence. If I'm your boss, I'm not coming today, I don't need to go home in the whole office. I will delegate the authority, the task to you, so that you will perform it on my behalf. When I come the following day in the office, you'll just brief me on what you have done. So it is one of the principles of an organization. Please make sure that you do delegation. Otherwise, if you don't do delegation, then when you are sick or when you are away on leave, work will not move on. Is this what you want to do? No. So these are some of the five principles of organization as a potential manager you need to be aware of. Now let's look at communication as part of organization. You cannot be organized without communication. So in this context, we are not going to look at some of the aspects of communication like challenges related to communication, the principle of communication. We're not going to look at them. We are just going to pick few elements which are related to organization. So organizational behavior is all about how people may be motivated to work together in more effective ways. The interaction required to uh, it requires communication. There's no way I can get myself organized if I don't communicate to you. There's no way I can control you, I can correct you if I don't communicate to you. Communication helps a manager to convey instructions. It helps a manager to correct employees. It helps a manager to work with employees in an organization. So communication is very important as far as organization is concerned. Now let us look at the importance of communication in relation to organization. One is the source of information. What kind of information do you get in the organization? For example, if you are the marketing manager, you get information concerning with the customers' complaint or customers' preference, things like that. So you need those information. It will help you to improve on your services. But if you don't gather information concerning the customer preference or their complaints, then you are not solving any problem. By the end of the day, the customers are going to move away from you. And what happens when they move away? Of course, the business will collapse. That is if you work in a profit-making organization. But still, if you work with the NGOs, you are not making profit, you still need that to maintain that reputation. Okay, reputation management is one of the things you consider through information you're obtaining. How your customer, how your employees interact with the community, it matters. So the next importance of communication in an organization is it promotes motivation. Employees can be motivated. Motivation is not all about money you give to the workers. You can be giving someone more than how many millions, but that does not mean he's going to be motivated because by law, you are paying the work the person is doing, but you're not paying that person. What motivates your employees are simple things. Communication, the way you talk to them, the way you appreciate them. For example, if one employee has extremely performed well, you can say thank you. By saying thank you is enough to motivate that employee. Okay, you can recognize that employee by giving him or her certificate of recognition. That's enough. So communication helps a manager to get the best out of his or her employees. The next importance of communication in the context of organization is it helps in socialization. Okay, you socialize with your fellow employees through communication. If I don't communicate to you, then there is no socialization. I come to the office, I don't say good morning. How would you feel? If I come to the office, I don't say good morning to you, or if your boss comes to the office and doesn't say good morning to you, how do you feel? You really feel like something wrong somewhere. So there is no aspect of socialization. So through communication, we are able to socialize. Especially if it is lunch hour, you go for lunch, you communicate to each other. That's all about socialization. The last one now is the controlling process. Controlling process. The manager controls employees through communication. The manager communicates the standard which is supposed to be followed by each and every employee in the organization through communication. So without communication, the standard cannot be communicated to you. You will not know what standard is required of you. But through communication, the manager is able to tell you what is required of you. And in case you've gone wrong or you've gone against the standard, again, the manager will correct you through communication. He or she will tell that, please, this is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do A, B, C, D. So these are some of the importance of communication as far as organizing is concerned. There are very many, but I'll just pick four. In your free time, you can do more research to get other importance of communication in relation to organization. Now, lastly, I want us to look at some of the directions of communication in the context of an organization. One is the downward communication. When we talk of the downward communication, we are talking about communication being initiated by the top management. So the direction of the flow is downward. What are those communications? It could be instructions. Okay. when the manager is instructing you something, that is a downward communication. It could be promotion letter. A manager writes a promotion letter to you telling that you have been promoted to ABCD. That is under downward communication. It could even be suspension letter, because suspension letters come from above. So it is again under downward communication. The next type of communication under direction of flow in the organizational context is now upward. With the upward, it is initiated by the lower level employees to the top management. If you are my boss and I'm reporting to you, that is under uh, upward communication. The example could be reporting to the boss, then also applying for a leave. Okay, if you're applying for leave, you want to go for maybe it's a sick leave or paternal or maternal leave. That kind of communication is upward because the direction of the flow is going upward from you, the lower employee, to the top management or to your boss. The next type of communication is now the horizontal communication. With horizontal communication, this is where employees almost at the same level communicate to each other. Here, there's nothing to do with the boss. We are almost at the same level. We talk to each other, and it is normal. It is common in an organization. It could be formal communication or informal communication in the context of organization. Then the next one is the internal communication. Internal communication could be a meeting within the organization. Every member attends that meeting. That is the internal. So under internal, we only communicate things to do with organizational affair, or we only involve people who are working in the organization. For example, at Rift University, if you have our meeting here, that is internal. External stakeholders are not allowed. The ministry, even the students, okay, the students are not allowed in that meeting. That means the meeting is specifically for the staff of Risto University. So such kind of communication is internal. Then lastly, we have external communication. With external communication, this is where the organization communicates to the either supplier or to the external stakeholders. What are the stakeholders of this university? We have the Ministry of Higher Education, the National Ministry of Higher Education. That is the stakeholder because the ministry has influence on the affair of this university. Another external holder, I mean external stakeholder we have is you, the student. You can be both external and internal. How are you internal? You are internal because you're already in our database, but you also at the same time you are external because you are not involved in the administration of Bristol University. Then another external stakeholder we have is maybe people from the National Council of Higher Education. They also have influence on the affair of university. So they are under external stakeholder. So what kind of communication, whatever communication between Bristol University and the other Ministry of Health or the National Council of Higher Education is what you call external communication because two entities are involved in the communication process. So basically, that is what I prepared for you, unless you have a question or something you'd like to add on.
Sir, thank you for the lecture. Everything was clear, and also we didn't face any challenge today with the network connectivity.
Yeah.
Things are going smoothly as planned. My question is going to be about the lecture.
Mhm.
Is how are we going to access the videos for the models? Like now, I'm doing a principle of management.
Repeat your question. How are you going to do what?
My question is
Yes.
like how I'm going to get the videos
Okay.
models like in YouTube. I'm not seeing them.
The videos. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, the videos are going to be edited. You know, after this video is recorded, it has to be edited. Then after editing is done, then we can now post it on YouTube.
Okay. The time you post them in YouTube, you have to inform me because
Yes.
always I used to go YouTube and browse, but I didn't find them.
Okay, fine. So the moment it is posted on the YouTube account, then you get the notification.
Okay.
Yes. Also, another essence of having this.
Also, my last question.
Yes, go on.
I'm not getting you.
I was saying that another essence of having this video recorded is for people who have missed the lectures so that they can catch up from there.
Okay.
Mm.
If even those people those students who attend the lectures, if they miss
Yes.
something or they forget, they may go to the video
Yes, they go to the video.
and watch it again.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know whether are we going to base only in principle of management, or we are going to do different sessions.
Do you have the timetable?
Uh,
Do you have the timetable?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I have the timetable. Yes,
Yes. So
yes, I
principle.
have the timetable.
Yes, principle of management